A fire has broken out aboard a cruise/cargo ship in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, causing everyone on board to need to be airlifted and leaving behind hundreds of high-end cars, including Lamborghinis, Bentleys, Porsches, and Audis, to be consumed by the ensuing flames. And speaking of being consumed, the cruise industry here in the United States is currently consuming everything that's coming out from the CDC about their new voluntary cruise program. We're going to go into some details for some major lines like Royal Caribbean, Carnival, and Princess today here on the show. Plus, I'll finally actually report on the new shows coming to the largest cruise ship ever built, the Wonder of the Seas. And the next largest cruise ship ever built, it's already up for sale. What's going on there? Find out next, coming up on Midships. Hey, and welcome to the Midships YouTube channel. I'm your Captain Corey, and thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. Well, tons of cruise news, of course. Yesterday, we brought you the story of basically all 18 major cruise lines here operating in the US saying, yes, we're going to opt in to the CDC's voluntary program for cruise ships going forward. Now, not every line has opted in at the same level of vaccination. There's going to be some nuances, some things different line by line. So we're going to cover a few of the major ones today. But before we do that, I do want to remind you, there's a huge announcement that I'm going to drop on this channel tomorrow around 5 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss your chance to meet me. Now, let's get into today's cruise news. And yesterday, I teased at a story that I didn't have time to make it to. That's about Royal Caribbean's newest ship, the Wonder of the Seas, and the new production entertainment options that have just been revealed for the ship. Let's learn more from cruisehive.com. By Robert McGillivray, Royal Caribbean reveals 4 new productions for Wonder of the Seas. As Wonder of the Seas steadily makes her way across the Atlantic Ocean, Royal Caribbean has revealed details on the entertainment options guests can expect on board the ship. The cruise line calls the lineup a wonder for the senses across air, ice, water, and stage. And now we'll get into the specifics of some of the headliner shows aboard Wonder of the Seas. Royal Caribbean will feature 4 main production shows on board when she begins operations on March 4th. And the first of the new signature performances aboard Wonder of the Seas is entitled Intense. An all-female cast will perform this high-octane show in the open-air Aqua Theater. The cast will perform dives from as high up as 55 feet, slackline feats, tumbling, aerial acrobatics, and more. And the next new show is 365, The Seasons on Ice. The iconic Studio B ice rink will host a unique story about the Earth's changing seasons. A variety of visual effects and lighting will transform the venue from one season to the next, enhancing the performers' characters and their every move. And next up, a sequel to the Effectors in Effectors 2 Crash and Burn. If you've never seen Effectors, it's a pretty cool show. I got to see it aboard Odyssey of the Seas. Really technically advanced. That's one of the ones where they bring the drones out, fly them over the audience. No one's piloting it. It's all done by computer. Pretty cool stuff. I'd highly recommend checking out an Effectors show if you're ever on a ship that offers it. Royal Caribbean's very own superheroes, the Effectors, Captain Viz, Loom, Pixel, and Reverb will debut in Royal's Theater later this year to battle against their arch nemesis, Crash, and his sidekick, Burn. And just like the original Effectors, the latest installment will feature use of autonomous technology first pioneered by Royal Caribbean. And the last headline show we're going to detail here is Voices, an intimate performance on a grand scale. With this production, the modern world of virtual communication comes together with the evocative power of live performance in a completely new style of musical presentation. So that Wonder of the Seas is shaping up to be one fantastic cruise ship. I can't wait to sail on board. Unfortunately, I had planned on being on the March 4th sailing for Wonder of the Seas, but some things got in the way here back at home. I have some other commitments that I have to deal with, so I'm officially not going to be on the first sailing of Wonder of the Seas, but don't worry. I'm not going to let you down. I'm still going to get on board. And speaking of getting on board, don't forget, I did book another cruise for the 28th of this month. If you'd like to find out where, all you have to do is check out my Instagram at Midships Cruise. There's also a link down in the description below this video. And while you're down there, make sure you subscribe to this channel with the thumbs up button pressed. And last but not least, in that description box, there's a link to my Amazon influencers page. I put all kinds of new products in there over the last few days and weeks. So if you've checked it out in the past, it's worth another look. And don't forget, just clicking on that link, even if you don't buy anything, does help support this channel and keep me cruising. Thank you so much. Now let's get into our thumbnail story about this cruise ship that was carrying all these luxury cars that caught on fire that's now literally just abandoned in the ocean aflame. So let's learn more from Z News. Cruise ship carrying luxury vehicles catches fire. Porsches and Lamborghinis on board. And here we have our first look at the ship aflame. As per reports, thousands of Audis, Porsches, Lamborghinis, Bentleys, and electric vehicles have likely been destroyed when an abandoned cargo ship caught fire in the Atlantic Ocean. According to The Verge, the batteries of an unknown number of electric vehicles caught fire on board the ship. The Felicity Ace ship was heading from Germany to a port in Rhode Island in the US when it issued distress signals last week. Some 1,100 Porsches and 189 Bentleys were aboard the vessel, as well as an unspecified number of Audis and Volkswagens. All 22 crew members on board were successfully evacuated and did not need medical attention, according to a statement by the Portuguese Navy. The statement goes on to say that all crew aboard were taken to a local hotel, and the owner of the ship, Felicity Ace, is in contact with a logistics agent in order to draw up a plan for the towing of the ship. It's unclear at this time whether the batteries are what sparked the fire. Experts in putting out battery fires will be needed to extinguish the blaze, though. So let's hope none of you out there in the Midships family had a brand new car sitting on board that ship. That's some pretty bad news, but the silver lining is no lives were lost. Everybody got off safely with, it sounds like, minimal to no injuries. Now it's time to get into a little bit more depth, cruise line by cruise line, about what's going to be happening with the new CDC voluntary program. We're going to do a few per episode today. We're going to start out with Royal Caribbean. And this comes from an article from cruiseradio.net by Richard Sims. Royal Caribbean opts into the CDC's new program, saying things are closer to normal. Late Friday evening, Royal Caribbean confirmed they'll be opting into the latest version of the CDC's guidelines for cruise ships. Just like Carnival Cruise Line, who we'll cover next, Royal will be operating under the parameters established by the program's highly vaccinated category. Royal Caribbean's president and CEO Michael Bailey announced the news on his Facebook page. He said that the Royal Caribbean ships will be operating under the new guidelines, beginning with sailings departing from the U.S. on February 25th. Bailey noted that Royal ships are sailing with 100% of the crew fully vaccinated and boosted when required. In addition, 95% of guests must be fully vaccinated, excluding children under 5 who are not yet eligible. And just like that article hinted, it's going to be a pretty similar story for Carnival Cruise Line and their new opt-in protocols. Let's learn more about that from cruiseindustrynews.com. Carnival Cruise Line yesterday confirmed they'll participate in the U.S. CDC's voluntary program for cruise ships operating in U.S. waters, and they're advising their guests of the following changes. Effective with cruises departing March 1st, masks on board will be recommended but no longer required. There may, however, be some venues on board that still need masks to be worn. Carnival will continue to meet the standard of vaccinated cruises. However, children under 5 years old will not be included in any vaccinated guest calculation, and thus will not be required to receive an exemption to sail. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be the biggest takeaway in all the news coming out from this voluntary program. These major lines like Royal and Carnival, they no longer have to count kids under 5 towards those exemptions that they give on the ships, which means there's going to be more adult exemptions that are available. So that's a pretty cool thing if you're an unvaccinated adult looking to cruise in 2022. Also effective with cruises departing on or after March 1st, additional flexibility in pre-cruise testing requirements will become available, which basically means that you're going to be able to have like an extra day to get your pre-cruise testing done. It's not a ton of extra flexibility. Things are basically just going to be rolling back to how they were earlier when you had that 3-day testing window. So that's the big takeaway there. Now let's take a little detour from all the CDC news to talk about the largest cruise ship in the world being up for sale. And I'm not talking about Wonder of the Seas. There's actually a bigger one, technically on paper. It's currently being built, and the owner's bankrupt. Let's learn more from TravelPulse.com. Genting Hong Kong will sell the unfinished world's largest cruise ship by Rich Tomaselli. And here's our first peek at this ship, the Global Dream. Genting Hong Kong Limited, the bankrupt parent company that shut down Crystal Cruises earlier this month after their ships were seized over unpaid fuel bills, is now looking to sell what's being billed as the world's largest cruise ship by capacity. The Global Dream is still under construction in a German shipyard and is slated to be a 9,500 passenger mega liner when she's finished. If she's finished. Because of the bankruptcy, Genting Hong Kong's shipbuilding arm has been placed into insolvency by a German court. They've also been assigned an administrator who's now responsible for selling the Global Dream. And the administrator claims he's in no rush to sell the ship, and there's plenty of people that are interested, but nonetheless, there is a deadline involved, as the shipbuilder will likely run out of cash by the summer. The cruise ship Global Dream has already reportedly cost $2 billion, but it's said to need in the vicinity of another $500 million to be fully completed. Wow, those are some massive numbers, not only for capacity, but also for costs involved. Hopefully this cruise ship finds a new home, and hopefully we all find our way on it one day. That'd be pretty cool. Now, if you made it this far into today's video, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss tomorrow's announcement A big announcement, the biggest one we've had for the channel, no doubt, so you're not going to want to miss it. Also, be sure you smash the thumbs up on this video. It tells the YouTube algorithm this was a good video. Other cruisers should watch it. Thanks for stopping by the channel today, and until tomorrow, we'll see ya on the Midships. La